when I'd go in with obviously, like I said before, Max, who was a year above me, I was quite close with Max. And he'd tell me, he said, wait until you do this pre-season. Wait until you do Les Parry's pre-season, he said. So I'm thinking, it can't be that bad. You know, we do pre-season under 16 and, you know, it's hard, but you can't possibly do any more vigorous stuff than what we do now. And he was like, no, wait until you do this pre-season. So, but I just remember if I played for the under 18s while I was under 16, I just remember, well, the first game sticks out in my mind. I think we played Morecambe, and it was was it Raby? It was called Raby, I think, the training ground at the time. And played in my first under 18 game when I was under 16, and I just remember being absolutely knackered after about 5 minutes. The pace of the game, I thought these lads are super fit here, because I thought I was a fit lad, and obviously I was miles off it. And yeah, and they've warned me about the pre-season with Les Parry, and then when I obviously signed me YTS and went full time, Les Parry actually got the manager's job. So yeah, it was brutal. If I'm honest, it was really brutal.
Go on then, tell me about that pre-season. What can you recall having to do?
Yeah, well, I'll never forget it. The first day we used to do testing. So we used to do like bleep tests. We used to do flexibility tests, speed tests, and everything else. And then day 2, Garner was like, right, we're going to the Whittle Way. I thought, okay, we're going for and the lads were like, yeah, it's an 8-mile run. It's an 8-mile run. So I thought, okay, it's not going to be vigorous. It's just going to be an 8-mile run. And anyway, we turn up at the Whittle Way, and all the first team and all the youth team all ran together. So we all run together. I think you'd run about 4 miles to start with. And it was at quite a okay pace, if I'm honest. It wasn't quick. I thought, yeah, everyone's just taking it easy. Garno used to actually run it with us. So I thought, if Garno can do it, we'll be all right, type of thing. And then you stop then, sort of halfway on the Whittle Way. And then, like, I still didn't really know what was happening. And it was a lad called Jay Gibbs. He was in our youth team at the time. He said, yeah, the pros are going to run now, and then we run in a minute. So all the first team gathered on the Whittle Way again while we're still sort of stretching and having a little chat. The first team off the go, they run. And then Garno calls us all over onto the path and says, right, line up. And then we had another 4 miles to run then. So I thought it was just going to be at the same pace as what we've just ran. I just thought, oh, yeah, we're going to run another 4 miles. The first team have gone 5 minutes in front. And when he said go, the second years, Max, Jay Gibbs, Dale Jennings, even Andy Coughlin, who was in goal, he wasn't the fittest lad in the world, just burst off in front. And it was literally like it felt like, I know it's obviously not, but it felt like a 4-mile sprint. And I just remember getting to the end. And when I got to the end, Les Parry would be there with a stopwatch. And I was feeling my groin. And he went, are you all right? And I went, no, I'm feeling my groin. And he went, how can you feel your groin? You don't run quick enough. I thought, right, that's my introduction. So, yeah, that was the Whittle Way. And then next day, up Movama in Wales. But it wasn't just any mountain run. It was a 2-mile uphill run to the bottom of the mountain before you'd even started. So we got to the bottom, ran as a group. And then you had to run up, basically halfway up the mountain. And then you take a path that took you back down. So you ran back down to the bottom, and then you ran all the way up to the top. And I've never felt lactic acid like it. The pain was just, my legs were burning. And again, Les Parry's up at the top with his stopwatch, putting the pressure on you as you're running up the mountain. But yeah, it was brutal. You know, and that's just in the first 2 days. I don't think we've seen a ball for the first 2 weeks. And then when we did see the balls, everyone's touches was just flying everywhere because no one could control the ball. But yeah, so that was that. And then one other run that we used to do sticks out to me. We turned up at Raby, and I had my boots ready in the change room. Thought, right, we're going to Raby. We're going to be on the balls here. And you know, I'm standing there. We used to get the minibus over to Raby, and Garno was like, "You don't need your boots." So threw my boots back in the little container, and then off we go to Raby. And when we get there, I don't know whether it was the physios or whoever had set up this running, but it was like it looked like an airport landing strip. The amount of poles that was on Raby. So I thought we're in for a hard time here. And then you got paired up with first team. So I get put in a group where there was me, Max. I think Lucas Akins was there at the time. I think he was in my group. He was a really strong runner. And I look, Ryan Fromm was there. He was a strong runner. So I'm just looking around thinking, well, I'm gonna be at the back here. And the session was 20 lots of 400-meter runs with a 2-minute break in between. So that was just unbelievably brutal. But do you know what? I've never felt as fit as that in my whole life. I don't think I ever will feel as fit as that in my whole life. But yeah, as I say, come to 2 weeks later and we couldn't control the football. So I think times have changed since then.